Well, joining me now is Edmund Ghareeb. He's a distinguished academic and Middle East expert. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course. So after months of jockeying and a decade of turmoil, Libya now has an interim government. A few months ago, this moment seemed unimaginable. What are your impressions of it now?
First of all, it's still early, of course, but this is a very important development. This shows that at least there is a new government now that we'll see. Of course, it has to be ratified by the parliament. But it seems that all the major players in Libya have so far expressed their support for the new government and sent their wishes that hoping that this might be the beginning of reconciliation. And also there is a great deal of interest in having a new election, which is going to represent all the Libyan people with various segments of the population. And there is also a sort of an emphasis that has been pushed by some of the players as well as by the UN that 30% of the senior positions should be given to executive positions, should be given to women. Of course, these are all important development. The fact that there is dialogue, the fact that there was an agreement between the different factions to accept the results is very, very important. Nevertheless, there are still questions. Will the militias, will the major players, especially the military groups on the ground and their backers, will they ultimately accept this new government and agree to dismantle their military forces and to accept the decisions made by the government? This is really the question. This is going to be the challenge down the road.
Edmund, so apart from just the military equation in this, because as you say, the work has just begun, what other challenges do you see this interim government as we head into the elections in December?
I think there are also the internal divisions, and there is also a lot of suspicion by many segments within Libyan society who feel that decisions are being made on their behalf by external forces, whether it's the United Nations or some of the other major players who have supported different segments of the population and different forces on the ground in Libya. So there is a question of trust, at least among a certain current among the Libyan population who believe that Libyans should be deciding these issues. And also they're concerned about whether or not the new government is going to be really to bring major changes, or is it going to be also reflecting the power and the influence of the groups who have been in charge of Libya over the past several years since the collapse of Colonel Gaddafi's rule. There is this major division that takes place between the government in Tobruk, which is basically supports General Haftar, and it controls the east and the south. And then we have the government of Tripoli, which controls part of the center and the west. And so the division is real. And then there are other areas where different groups, armed groups, control parts of Libya. So there are a lot of challenges. But one of the main things is going to be their ability to promise the Libyan people that this government is going to take their interests into account. It's going to rebuild the economy. It's going to bring about reconciliation. It's going to pave the ground and create the institutions that are going to bring about a representative government and a real election that's going to reflect the will of the majority of the Libyan people who have been suffering for the past several years.
Right, a very important first step. Edmund Ghareeb there, thank you for your time.